So they finally cornered him in a house, and he hid under the bed. And when they came in, instead of just taking him out, and they fired 40 bullets under the bed. Because remember, I said Jamaica, they're very mad. They have a lot of temper, you know. Look at playing a domino game. And he reaching a fight. Like that is that temper that they have.
That's true.
We're like,
Fast asleep.
we're like, how do you just go to someone's business place and basically disrespect their space like that? Like, this is not your bed. This is, you don't know us. Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mel and we are here with mommy. So wanna know say it's another story time. I'm all better now, well not 100% but say 80%. So wanna get him back on a story time, okay?
Finally.
So mommy, go ahead and do your thing.
Disclaimer. The stories that I'm going to tell in this series are my experience, my truth, and my point of view over the past 38 years that I have been in Jamaica. And it's in no way intended to slander any person, the culture of Jamaica, or the island as a whole.
Yeah, hi Mel's lovelies. We were missing in action a bit here due to her sickness, but now we are back again. Actually we are around 1999 now, going up to 20. At that time, honestly, not so many things really happened in the marina because we were barely holding up at the time, because times had gotten so hard around that time. I had to let most of my staff go. After the houseboat sank, as you know, we were moving into the back part of the marina and basically running the place on our own. We still had 1 or 2 people working for us, but not as before. I mean, initially we had about 3, 6, 10, 11, 12 people staff. And suddenly we were down to 2, you know. And then when the houseboat sank, people were asking where Yosha was, my oldest son. Well, he was in Germany at the time. He did his civil service there, and that took him about 13 or 14 months. And actually I was anticipating that he would stay over there, because I mean, a young man in his prime, and he would start some form of formal education there, or because he was always talking about maybe becoming a nurse, male nurse, you know, and because his civil service time he spent in a part of Bielefeld that is set for handicapped people, mentally, physically disabled people. And he liked that work and he was good at it, so he was kind of considering to maybe start a career in that. So I was very astonished when his time was finished and I get a phone call and he said, "Mommy, I'm coming home." I was like, okay, are you sure you don't want to stay in Germany and do something there? And he said, no, I want to come home. Now what to do? He came home. The first thing he did is right beside our shower bathhouse. There was a little spot there, not big. And he started to build his own room there, because we had material left. Partly from the houseboat that we kind of dismantled, partly from former time. So he just grabbed together whatever he could find and built himself a nice little room, because of course the other part of the marina was so crowded with us already. And Actually, you see, that is one thing with my children growing up in this country. They have learned a lot of skills. My two sons, they can practically do everything. They can do some electrician work, they can do plumbing, they can do woodworks, build furniture, build rooms, obviously. And I guess that gave them a good start in life. Because the way we were always living, it was always necessary that we tried to do as much as possible on our own. So they they were eager to learn, and they could figure out a lot of things themselves. So up to this day, it is serving them well, whatever they learned at those times. Yep. So once Yosha was finished with his room, he even started to build, or him and his brother started to build a little room, even behind our marina part, on the back part there, for Nikki. So he would have his own little space too, and so we would get more space all together. And they finished all that too. And in the meantime, I mean, we were just running the business. Like I told you already, Nikki was a famous fish chef. People would come and only order fish if he was in the kitchen cooking it. The whole family did everything. I mean, we swapped doing things. I would do waitressing. Yosha and Nikki, if he wasn't in the kitchen, we would all do waitressing, cooking, bookkeeping, shopping, cleaning up the yard, cleaning up the bathroom, everything. So one day I was, in the afternoon, I was laying on my bed, kind of a little bit relaxing because nothing was going on, no customer, nothing, when I heard customers coming in. So I got up immediately. When I got up, I suddenly felt this crack here. And I didn't even pay too much mind, you know, because, I have told you that part of the story. The famous mattress that I bought just a day before the houseboat sank, it was like a spring mattress, and it landed in the water. We took it out. Now guess what happened? All the springs got rusty in no time, although we washed off the mattress good, and collapsed. So I had this awful, tough, Hilengoli mattress left. And I had no money to buy a new one. I had nothing to replace it. So I had to sleep on that damn mattress. Can you imagine what that does to your back? So I guess that was partly the reason when I got up that time, when I felt this little crack in my lower back. And then while I was walking out the room towards the restaurant part, I felt it worsen. It is like some pain start to spread out and spread out and spread out. And by the time I reached the restaurant part, I had to lean on something and say, I can't move anymore. So I had to call one of my children and say, guys, me don't know what happened to me, but me can't move. And while I was standing there, the pain started spread into my upper thigh here, in the legs. And it felt like I was kind of cut into half. So, well, they had to take over, of course. I could not walk back to the room. They had to hold me with two people and bring me back to my room and go on my very comfortable mattress. And for the next 10 days, they basically had to help me up to go to the bathroom and bring me back. You know, I was almost paralyzed. And although a doctor gave me some injections for the pain and stuff, or you call Hexenschuss.
That's what I'm just
because that Googling. Is what I had. Huh?
That's what I'm Googling.
Lumbago, yeah.
Lumbago.
So it was lumbago. And boy, I tell you, I don't wish that on anybody ever in life, because that was really, really rough. Luckily, is there some wood around? I don't want to get no more lumbago in my life. Wood. It's no, that's plastic. Over, too far. I have to try it again. Because sometimes I'm a little bit superstitious.
Wow.
Yeah. Knocking on wood that I will never get it again. But you can see now, it's like if you're so restricted already with the personal, with the money, because I'm serious at those times. I had days when in the morning I wouldn't know how to feed my family in the evening, because the few little goods we had in the restaurant we would not touch for the family. That is restaurant that is supposed to sell and generate some money for us. So sometimes I would just sit there and say, okay, let's see what the day brings, because obviously I don't have money to buy no food. And then, interesting, something always happens. Always. And I think I told them about the horoscope, right? That I got done when I was 30, when I separated. Did I? In
You
one
told
story
them,
time?
Not sure. I know that you told them about the Obia man.
Okay. Now, what happened when I was in the crisis with my then husband, Mayumi's father, and I went to Germany? I met somebody who would give me a horoscope, like professionally done with everything, with all the designs.
Horoscope reading.
Yeah, yeah. They taped it actually for me. Even it was a really professionally done thing, and in that horoscope, part of it was saying that I would never completely be without money. And well, now we are talking about what, 10, 19, 15 years after. It had proven true up to that point, and actually it has proven true up to this day of my life, because I have had so many situations where I was so broke, but something out of the blue would come out and bring me some money. You know, it's like, at first I was skeptical, but over the years now I've started to trust it, you know. I mean, if I don't have money, it's like, oh well, my horoscope said that I will never be completely without, so something must happen, and it always does. So in those days, sometimes like suddenly on midday, one bus load full of people would come in and order, and that would save not only that day, but maybe 2 or 3 days, you know. It was like, yes, did it again, you know. But it was a real rough time.
Yes, only if she wouldn't be so stressed out about it, even though she has the feeling that, you know, she will never be without money because of the horoscope. Every time she's in that situation,
Of course.
I mean, it's natural, but you know,
Of course I'm still stressed, but in the back of my head, it's like I'm not getting completely desperate, because I have this kind of trust into this situation, and latest situation, come on guys, you have helped us.
Yeah.
You have helped us tremendously. That was one situation where I lost 30 pounds over it. You know, I was so stressed out, and now you guys helped us out, and now I'm much more relaxed and I'm much more happy, and it is like, yes, you know, that my horoscope has been proven true again, and you guys are a big part of it. So thanks again. But anyhow, going on with the story now. Of course, in the time, some stuff happened too. For example, we had one neighbor. He was diving a lot and fishing and stuff like that. Actually, that neighbor was the person that brought me over on the boat to Florida with that load of green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided to live in Port Antonio and moved in right beside us. And one day he went out with some other people, and they stayed out for a good while, and when they came back he kind of looked funny and pale and stuff, and we looked at him and he said, everything alright, Dick? And he said, yeah. And then he went in the house. And after a while, we heard somebody moaning and going on, and then people got all nervous, his friends and people in the house all got nervous, and oh my God, he's feeling awful and he's in pain and this and that. And they started to call around and bring him to the hospital. And in the hospital, they detected that he had, how you call it, the diver sickness, they call it. When you dive and you go deep and you come up too fast, and then bubbles start to form in your body. And what you have to do then is basically to go in a decompression chamber in order to get the right pressure back into your body that it would have under the water.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was panicking now and calling around, and the only decompression chamber that Jamaica actually had at the time was in Runaway Bay in the Marine Institute. And Runaway Bay is about 150 kilometers or about 100 miles from Port Antonio. So they organized a transport, threw Dick in the car and brought him down there. Quick. And the whole time, I mean, this man must have been in excruciating pain. Apparently that is causing the whole body to... Can you imagine your blood is bubbling up practically? You know? I mean, it must be really, really awful. And by the time they reached Runaway Bay finally, I think they even put him in the chamber, but it was too late. He died.
So this is saying that the diver sickness, also known as decompression sickness, occurs in scuba divers or high altitude or aerospace events when dissolved gases, mainly nitrogen, come out of solution in bubbles and can affect just about any body area, including joints, lung, heart, skin, and brain.
Right.
So it's caused by the formation of bubbles of gas that occur with changes in pressure during scuba diving.
Right. So what he did, and I never understood up to this day, how come he would even do something like that, because he was a very experienced diver, and every diver knows if you reach a certain depth, in order to come up, you have to decompress. That means you have to go slowly up, stay on a certain level for 3 to 5 minutes, and you can go up again and stay on a certain level again until you finally can surface.
Mm-hmm.
He did have enough oxygen in his bottle, so it was not a lack of oxygen. So we all were really, really wondering how come that this experienced diver would even get into this situation. And some people were even wondering if it was some form of suicide from his side, because he seemed to have had some problems at the time. But of course nobody can prove that, and
I think there would be better ways to...
And then exactly, I was just saying, because why the way that man suffered, no man, if you want to kill yourself, don't even attempt to do that that way. It's not funny. There's another way of dying underwater. It's when you really go too deep.
Mm-hmm.
Then they call it, you get like a euphoric feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And some divers get that, and then they might even take out the thing, the air, whatever way the air come through, and drown. But they will do that happily if you want, because they are so euphoric that they don't even realize what they are doing anymore. That would be even a better way than what if it had been this way. So that was very, very tragic, because I mean, over the years we have become friends and stuff, and it was really right my neighbor, you know, and it was really kind of influencing all of us. And they had a very beautiful funeral with kumina dancers and music, and I mean, he got a very how you call it, gracious farewell party. That was one case. Then we had another case of this young man that was, I don't know what happened to him, but he was like only working like helper job here and there. He was not very much educated. He was not stupid neither. He was not disabled in any way neither. But for some reason he only was like doing here and there jobs. He was the son of a father. Now listen to this one. 1 month, 58 children with 12 women. You have to do that one, don't it? 58 picnic from 1 month. So he was the son of this guy. And of course, the father, I mean, he couldn't take care of none of the children. That was all on the mothers. And maybe that was part of the reason why he had such a hard time to become a person that would really take care of himself. And he started to kind of hang out in the marina, even overnight, because we had this little shed there, and he would always crawl in the shed and kind of sleep there. And we saw it, and we kind of ignored it. We did not really give him the permission either, because we didn't want him to feel like he can do anything he wants in there. But basically we ignored it. We knew he was there, and we just said, sure, make him stay. And what happened to him now? He was like he had a little temper as well, you know, and he could be very feisty. So one morning we got up and went about our business, when shortly after we heard some commotion out on the road, which is a little bit further down from where we were. But still we could hear the commotion, and then when my sons went to investigate, they found out that he had been stabbed to death. We had the bakery right beside it, and apparently he got in an argument with the bakery supervisor, and that guy just stabbed him. And I don't think this man ever even got charged for it. I'm not sure. So for us it was like, wow, wasted life, you know, because he was pretty young. He was in his 20s, you know.
So he was stabbed in the area
right on the road.
Oh.
But right in front of our gate.
Okay.
And seeing that he was always staying with us, and so we kind of felt a little bit involved, you know, and felt it. You know, it was a little bit tragic for sure. And other things, you see, over the years, whenever I went to Germany and I met my friends, I really stopped talking about events that were happening in Jamaica, because they always had this look on their faces like, yeah, she's exaggerating, you know, or she's lying even, or no man, that can't be, you know. And for me it was like, yeah, just telling them like I tell you now, you know, certain stories, and the reaction over there was always, that can't be true. So I basically stopped talking about certain things. And for example, one day I was just walking home from on the main road. We were on the main, but like I said, the place itself was a little bit setback. Was walking on the main road when suddenly I hear pow! One shot fire right beside me on the road, like about 3 yards away. One bullet hit the road and jumped off, luckily to the other side.
Bounced off, yeah. Bounced off.
Bounced off the road and luckily to the other side, not to my side. But I was standing there and saying, whoa, you know, I mean, that was close. And then what turned out to have happened is that one policeman fired his gun after a madman that was running away from him. I mean, hello, Mr. Policeman. We are in the middle of the town with hundreds of people walking up and down, and you shoot just like that behind a man when you have people around you. I mean, he was so lucky that that bullet wouldn't even get nobody. It just flew between whatever obstacle was there. But these are things that can happen here too. It come like Wild Wild West or something, you know. All I did after that, I was like, pew, back home, you know. No, son, me not go on that road again for now. I was really afraid. And around that same time period, another thing occurred with police, where they were after a thief. Same things about the same area of the town, right smack in the middle of the town, the square where the market is, where a whole heap of people are. And this one police had nothing better to do than to shoot after that thief as well. Now in this case, what happened is one young man, 19 years old, good student, perfect citizen, get licked by the bullet and dead. You know? And you know that policeman, as far as we know, did not have any consequences out of that. And the worst part, I heard shortly, like 1 or 2 days after the incident, that the police would not free the body to the parents of the young man unless they would pay for the bullet that killed him.
What?
Yeah. When I heard that, I felt physically sick. I mean, how cruel is that? So those
so
are...
you kill my son, and me for pay you for the bullet where you go waste for my son.
Yeah.
For no damn reason.
Yeah.
Before me can get my son body for go bury.
Yeah.
You must have mad in your head.
I'm telling you. I mean, some incidents here in Jamaica, they were so unjust, cruel, and crazy.
I mean, the whole police system here is...
They need definitely much more respect for human lives and for the power of a gun.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't have bullets. Oh, I heard another story too. Like they caught they were after a man that I don't know what he committed, what crime he committed, probably robbed somebody or something. So they finally cornered him in a house and he hid under the bed. And when they came in, instead of just taking him out and they fired 40 bullets under the bed. What for? All you do is get the man out. Him can't even defend himself lying under the bed. Him can't do nothing. He didn't have a weapon either, you know. So all these incidents, sometimes when you hear or when police is somewhere, so I stay far, you know. Like what Jamaicans do, they go and look and I'm curious and
the right side of your choice, so we're going straight bullets all over the place.
I will hear anyhow. I don't have to look, you know.
Nowadays, you don't need to be there. We'll be on the internet anyways.
Exactly, but even them time, the grapevine was very, very fast. You know, trust me, you would hear every detail from the people. But me, from ever since, I am not getting involved in those things at all.
Yeah, there's a lack of thinking
about the consequences.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
what could happen
in other countries, if a police even fire one bullet, them have to prove distinctly why they fired, what it was for, what was the occurrence, if they were right or wrong, and if they are wrong, they really might get prosecuted. In Germany, you don't hear anything about police firing bullets just so ever. Yeah. I cannot recall things like that happening. It might happen once in a while, but very, very seldom. I know we all know in America it might be a little bit different still. But Europe police is very, very reluctant to use their guns.
It should be like one of the last resorts.
Exactly.
There's so many other things they can do. They could have tasers. They could have... They ain't love use them button. They love use like even just a taser. That would be the easiest solution. You still can't shoot them from a good distance, and you know they would drop to the floor or whatever, and they are, you know.
Yeah, but can't de-escalating, for example, nowadays you can do a lot too. Like if you corner a person even.
But Jamaican temper, there is no de-escalation, mommy. So you have to understand that part. Because remember I said Jamaica, they're very
mad.
They have a lot of temper, you know.
Yeah, true.
So
yeah,
the
other
smallest
countries have
thing,
a lot of temper too.
Not like
Italy,
not like
Spain,
this.
like the southern European countries.
Not like
a lot
this.
of temper
Not like this, because the Italian at the end of the day, the European countries, they have that respect for the police force.
And for the lives
Here
as
in,
well.
in Jamaica, the respect is just not there because police don't give people respect, so the citizens don't give them respect either. And then the smallest thing can happen, and the Jamaican they flare up on a big war and say, look at playing a domino game. And they reach in a fight. Like that is that temper that they have.
That's true.
So I can understand that normal de-escalation of just speaking to them and trying to calm them down that way won't work. Okay. Probably 90% of the time.
Gun should still
but that's why I'm saying tasers.
Taboo. Yeah.
Give them tasers. Let them use tasers first. If the taser don't work and they still do danger to whatever, then I can understand that you pull out your weapon, or whosoever else is there standing beside you as your colleague, that they would have to do whatever they have to do. But at least try something else first. And if that no work, then alright, you tried at least, instead of just shooting. And but it's just a thing that we have to just think about, that Jamaica is a very fiery set of people. Jamaicans are very, very fiery, so that's just something we have to keep in consideration when thinking about that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I mean, it should be part of the training.
I understand that.
So at least try certain things first, and if nothing will work, then only then some form of violence should start, you know. But it is a huge problem here, all over. I mean, and I don't envy the police neither. I mean,
nope.
I give them some benefit as well. You know, if they don't have an easy job neither, of course not. You know, so but if you deal with some people who have no respect whatsoever, then.
Cause sometimes it's just like even a traffic stop. And people would flare up same time, like why? Just find out, like just start normal first, and if your sister them might try to deal with your unjust, then you can do whatever you're doing, then you can, you know, say what you have to say. But if you just, yo, what you something for? And you know, them a cuss and say suck your mother and blah blah blah, like
disrespectful, really.
You know, it's just people just have to learn to deal with each other in a better way.
Yep.
But that is just a culture, and it's going to be hard to get out of it.
I know.
So that's the issue there.
But anyhow, those were a few little occurrences that we kind of witnessed or were close to. And then after a while, when Yasha came back now and had his room built and stuff, a few of his friends from Germany decided to come to Jamaica. So a whole group of young men, like was about 5, 6 of them, came, and of course they don't have much money, and so they pitched their tents in our marina yard. And they stayed for 3-4 weeks, and they had a blast. You know, they loved it in Jamaica. They had a wonderful time. We're safe and secure in our yard, so they didn't have to be afraid of being robbed or anything, because camping in Jamaica is maybe not the best idea. But being in our yard, and then we had the dogs around and stuff, and in the night nobody would really trouble us. Which nobody would really trouble us is another thing, because around us, on the left side we have a big supermarket delivery area, and the supermarket is right there too. On the right side, at certain times, first that friend was living there that died, and then after it became a discotheque. And across the road we had a learner's shop, we had some other shops, you know, because we were right in the middle of the town. And believe you me, everywhere over time people broke in the supermarket, in the learner shop, in the discotheque part, in the other shops around it, everywhere. And we only had that one little incident that Nikki was talking about the other day, when this junkie came in and tried to steal our liquor. Tried, you know. And apart from that, seriously, nobody in all those years ever troubled our yard. And when I was still living on the houseboat couldn't even lock the front door. It didn't have a lock. In the marina part, in the restaurant bar part, our closure for the bar part was a piece of wire in a frame. We would put down and lock with 2 locks overnight. So if somebody had been really serious, they could have come with some wire cutters or something, cut off the wire quick and fast, climb through, get whatever. Never, ever anybody attempted to do anything like that. I was always wondering, how come? Well, probably they knew there was nothing that they could steal from us anyway. Maybe. Or maybe it was some form of respect as well, because we really used to deal with most people around us. I mean, going from your business person, banker, doctor, lawyer, or down to the ladder, market people, sellers, this, that, down to all the drug addict that was trying to make her money. Because, for example, there was one of them who always used to bring tourists in. He was kind of well spoken and charming, and so when he saw some tourists, he would start to chat them up and then say, okay, let me show you this, let me show you that, and a lot of them would go with it, and then he would bring them in to us to eat and drink. And he always said, oh, give me your money now. And I said to him, no, you're not going to get money. You can get food, you can get drinks, but I'm not going to give you money, because all you could do with that money is go straight out and buy drugs, and I'm not supporting that at all. So food and drinks are fine, no money. And he was always grumbling, and years later it turned out that he well respected us for that, because he finally came out and say, you never give me your money, but you were right. Me still love that, me get my food, me get my drinks, me really love that, So that was maybe part of the reason why nobody really troubled us, because we were really dealing and speaking to and trying to help everybody around us. Not like we were better than anybody.
Dealt with everybody with respect, like treat nobody lesser than nobody.
Like even if they came in and we didn't want them in, we would not just like throw them out, but we would ask them and say, look, it's not a good idea that you come in here now, so please leave. And not like, oh, get the hell out of here. Nothing like that. We would always be respectful. And that, I think it is very important anyhow, anywhere you are in the world. But
to this day, mommy does that. Because even the other day, there was this white guy. Because we have a couch in our restaurant now, right? And there's this covering over the couch, right? And we got there in the morning, like around after 11. And we got there and saw this white guy, like literally take off the cover off of the couch from the top part and the bottom part and wrap up in there. And we're like, we're like, how do you just go to someone's business place and basically disrespect their space like that? Like, you just go there and do as you feel like this is not your bed. This is, you don't know us. This is the first time we are even seeing
ever
you.
Saw him, yeah.
And then I was like, and like well comfortable to like cock up foot yeah, so and this I'm like, yeah this. And I was just there packing out the stuff, like may I try ignore it, and mommy's there looking and looking. So till mommy just turned to him, and I think he figured out already that he was German, because he was speaking on the phone and speaking in German. And then she just turned to him and she's like, oh, it's cold outside, huh? And he's like, yeah, it's cold. And they started, having a conversation, and she was finding out a lot of stuff of why he's there and whatsoever. But other people that sit out and say, yo, where you do that for? Come out of a place and you feel like, this, what you doing and stuff. And like, mommy is just like, it's cold outside, huh? I'm like, really, mommy? I'm just sitting in front of mommy and I'm like, he's being so disrespectful right now. And you just treating him like it's no big deal. and he did something else. Oh, then he actually got up, and I saw he was soaking wet because rain was falling. So it seemed like he was walking in the rain and stuff, and he was soaking wet enough. So this wet ass man is laid in our couch that customers and we use, wrap up in the cover, not give a flying fart about nobody and them property. I'm basically just I wet up the whole couch, and I'm like, Mommy, look, he's soaking wet and he's just there. She's like, yeah man, it's alright, it's alright.
Him soon dry.
He's soon he's soon left out. I'm like, alright. Cause I mean, I wouldn't approach it in a disrespectful way either. I would just be like, listen, you're in somebody's business place and you can't just, you know, do this as you feel like at least ask for permission or say something or come to us, and you know. But I just let Mommy do her thing sometime and just ignore it. I just set up what I had to set up and never go about my business. Because me couldn't manage that daily.
But as it turned out, that guy has severe problems. I mean,
yeah, there's some form of mental issue.
Yeah, some form of mental, because even he's supposed to leave and now, and a lot of things happened to him, and yesterday our police came.
Yeah.
And kind of try to help him and sort him out.
Like, they're trying to get him out of the country because he's been robbed. He has been beaten up, had bruises all over him. Nobody know where he's staying because I guess night to night he stays somewhere else. People know that he's like just spending money like that.
I heard he slept 2 nights on the couch.
I thought the other day I came there and I saw a bunch of cigarette ashes.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think he did sleep 2 nights on that couch.
I feel with couch him asleep on. But I guess that would come from you being so kind to him and, you know, giving him that impression of it's okay.
Yeah, you will.
Because he came back like 2 times after that, and Mommy went, oh, how are you? Everything all right? And trying to find out what the next step is for him.
Back normal, you know.
But yeah, basically the police is trying to help him right now to get him out of the country because they realize that
I think his family in Germany kind of alerted the police to get him to fly out now or something like that.
People are definitely taking advantage of him, and he has a credit card and he's just swiping left, right, and center.
He had to go to the embassy and get a paper just to be able to travel out. They stole 1 credit card from him. They mash up his phone. That's why everywhere now is without a phone. He has to borrow a phone. You know, I mean, he really, I don't know. I was actually, at one point in time, I was concerned they would kill him or something.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So last night he was there as well. Yesterday was when the police basically brought him somewhere. And he's supposed to fly out today, I heard.
I hope it
so hopefully he's gone, because
he needs to go.
He is not in a safe space right now.
Nope, he needs to go.
None at all. Like it's not. I'm not even sure if it's a mental issue or if he's just.
Maybe I got a season spliff too or something, and that turned him mad.
But he doesn't seem mad like that. He just seems like he doesn't think about stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but
no common sense.
He literally lost it. Literally. I mean, you can see that his way of thinking is completely illogical.
Yeah, like there's
and
no
we have
common
had
sense.
quite a few cases like that over the years. Yeah, we told you about this one guy in the marina one time. But I have seen quite a few people over the years that really literally lost it here. Or even people that had been living here. And they left, they had to leave because they couldn't stand the pressure any longer.
And the funniest part is his English is not that good. Because he was that same day when we saw him wrapped up and stuff, he came to our counter and wanted something to eat. And he's like, oh, I only have card and no cash and blah, blah, blah. So we said, well, would you be able to get some cash? So he's like, yeah. Yeah. So we said, alright, order the pizza. Even if not, me and Mommy were like, maybe if you not get the cash, at least you still get something to eat, cause something alright there. So we were basically already anticipating that we wouldn't get the money for the pizza, right? But we just said, all right, go ahead, do what you have to do. But when he was ordering and stuff, he kept on speaking German to our staff.
And our staff was like,
our waitress, she was like every other word was a German word, or like say there's a sentence. The sentence was there was like one English word in the whole sentence, and I kept on saying, "Mommy, look, he's speaking German the whole time." And Mommy's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yes, he's speaking German." And our waitress is just there like, huh?
I don't know.
Like she would hear beer. She would hear, what did he want? Vodka or something?
He wanted rum.
Oh, rum.
A bottle of rum.
And she's like, we don't have any rum. And then he's like, beer and stuff. And then like she would pick out the one single words and try, you know, cater to him.
So she gave him a beer.
She would try cater to him. And then Mommy's like, you know that they, like, we're the only ones that speak German here. Our staff don't speak German. And he's like, oh yeah, and then
continued
right after, like 2 seconds after, he went back and spoke German to our waitress. And to the way I feel sorry for our waitress, I actually, because we have like chocolate selling and stuff, I actually got one chocolate and say, hey, just have patience with him, okay? And I'm like, here, this is a little gift from me to you for having patience with him. She's like, thank you. Thank you. So that guy is a character, I tell you.
But like I say, it's not the first time and not the only time that we have seen something like that here.
Yeah.
It happened actually.
Mommy was actually wondering if he, doing like some Obeahman or something. Because he said that his wife was dealing with an Obeahman. Like she basically left him for an Obeahman.
He always calls it voodoo, but I don't know, it's would you believe that Chavez never know that voodoo is like Obia? I found that out yesterday. Because she when I said about the Obeahman, no, she said that him say it's voodoo, and I said, well, voodoo is Obia.
Yeah,
you know, it's practically this, and not quite, but practically the same. You know, so. Yeah, so you can see we meet some different characters all the time in this country.
Yep.
Which is very... I mean, actually, life here is not boring, don't it?
There's always something.
Always.
Yeah.
Like when I spend my time in Germany, it seems so calm and so... I mean, nothing is happening out of the ordinary. And here it's practically constant.
Yep.
I mean, I've catch myself getting bored when nothing happens. It's like for a few days, if nothing happens, it's like, yeah, this is boring.
Even when I was you know, sick for the week, like I was gone for like 10 days, and I got to the restaurant and I was like, so what happened? What's new? What going on for the week that I wasn't here for? And then Paula was just there telling her stories and saying this and that happened and stuff. So you know, there's always something that you can come back and definitely know. Say, if you ask your what's new, you're going to get an answer. There's nothing happening, you know, just the regular stuff. There is a story every single time.
I mean, the village where we are right now, it is actually a village. You know, I mean,
like it could be a reality show. Trust me.
That, so maybe one day we go start a reality show.
That could be a reality show.
Okay, now basically those little stories are all we have to tell for right now, because next story time will be a little bit more specific, going towards certain happenings that are not nice again. You know, in my life, you know, one catastrophe follows another. So the next catastrophe is not too far away from 1999, 2000.
Yes.
Not too far away. We are reaching there. So I hope we gave you a little nice few times here. And looking forward to see you next time.
Yes, guys. So thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you in our next video. Bye.